In this video, we will bring you the storyline of a movie called The Warrior Way from the year 2010. This movie tells the story of Jang, a 19th century swordsman, is ordered by his clan leader to kill the baby offspring of an enemy clan. However, he refuses to do so and escapes with the baby to the American West. Warning: spoilers ahead. The movie begins by showing a man who has an empty stare in it, where this man practiced swords all his life for only one purpose, namely to become the greatest swordsman in history. He then met a swordsman who had the title of the most powerful in the world today, where he invited him to duel for the title. Finally, the man managed to kill the swordsman very easily, making the man the greatest swordsman in the world today. After taking the title of the greatest swordsman in history and defeating the enemy clan leader, he saw a wooden box lying nearby. As he approached, he saw a cute and adorable baby girl. Although he was ordered by his clan leader to finish off all the members of the enemy clan, but when he saw the baby, his conscience suddenly reappeared, which finally made the man find a new purpose for living, which was to keep the baby and keep her alive. He decided to re-sheath his sword. He even took the baby and left this cursed place to wander, because he felt that he had been on the path of killing for too long. He then wandered to get away from the enemy, and although his journey was full of obstacles such as being visited by swordsmen who wanted to usurp his title, he easily got through that period, until he decided to go to the Western country to meet his old friend, and planned to spend the rest of his life with the baby there. By the way, this guy's name is Jang. In short, he arrives in a deserted, bankrupt town, that's where his old friend lives. But unfortunately, it turns out that his friend died a long time ago. Elsewhere, we will see a senior swordsman named Sadist Flute, who is the clan leader and also Yang's sword teacher, where at that time Sadist was checking the last place his student stopped, and found a paper that was a clue to where Jang had gone. It was revealed that Jang was part of the most respected clan in the eastern country, where they were at war with the enemy clan for many years, and the last living descendant of their enemy clan was the baby Jang was carrying. Back to Jang and the baby, who were stranded in a foreign country. Shortly thereafter, a kind woman appeared who offered to take care of the baby, and even offered him a job to become a washerman. This woman was named Lin, a woman who lived alone in this almost dead city. In short, Jang accepted the offer in order to take care of his adopted daughter. On the first day of work, he was visited by 3 young men who asked him to wash their clothes, where these 3 young men arrogantly underestimated Jang, even though if they knew who he was, their heads would have been lying on the ground. It was revealed that most of the inhabitants of this town were circus performers, each with their own skills, including Lin, who had ambitions to become the greatest knife thrower, but her abilities were not enough. Day after day, Jang spent learning to wash clothes, drying his clothes, then playing with the residents there, and continued by planting flowers. A few weeks passed. Jang, who had gained peace, was seen playing cards with Ron, where Ron always lost because he could not guess the lies through Jang's empty eyes. When they saw Lin, who was alone in the middle of the cemetery, Ron told him that when Lin was a child, she actually had a father and mother and a baby brother, but the happy family ended tragically and died at the hands of an evil colonel, who had slaughtered them all so sadistically. The colonel is said to often look for young girls who have clean teeth to serve as an outlet for his sexual desires. But when Lin became his victim, she was desperate to douse the colonel with hot oil, which ended with the massacre of all his family. Lin herself was presumed dead by the colonel at the time, having been shot. However, it turned out that the bullet did not hit a vital part, which allowed her to survive until now. Sympathizing with her past, Jang offered to train Lin how to throw a knife properly, then showed her the legendary sword that had killed hundreds of lives and was now sealed, so that he would not return to him old self. He then gave Lin a pair of daggers and trained her to be a professional fighter. Day after day, Jang worked, tended the garden, took care of the baby, and trained Lin. At that moment, Jang felt that he was alive again and had a real family and lived happily in the small town. Until one day when they were having a party, there were some people using horses destroying the flower garden, which turned out to be a group of criminals under the leadership of the colonel. After the incident in the past, now the colonel uses a mask to cover his face, and the colonel's purpose there is to find a young and clean woman who will serve as his lust. Lin, who still clearly remembers the person who slaughtered her family, decides to dress up to attract the colonel's attention because she intends to take revenge. Knowing that Lin met the colonel alone, Yang could no longer stand by and witness the colonel's heinous deeds. He finally decided to intervene, where Yang broke the seal on his sword, and it was immediately noticed by the clan leader. While Lin, she was finally caught trying to kill the colonel. In retaliation, the colonel and his henchmen were going to rape her together, but Yang appeared, who immediately slaughtered all the colonel's men. But at that time, the colonel managed to escape from there, and that would make the townspeople worried, because it was certain that the colonel would return with more troops. Not staying silent, Yang and the residents worked together to devise a strategy that could at least minimize the colonel's attack. Long story short, the next day arrived. All the residents had prepared in position, where they had prepared a mine that could blow up all the colonel's troops. However, how surprised they were when the colonel came with hundreds of horsemen, which was clearly beyond their expectations. Yang came forward to greet and finish them off one by one using the sword in his hand. But with so many enemy troops, he also had difficulty because he had to hold them all at once, because the remaining residents, including Lin and her baby, had to escape from the pursuit of the colonel's troops. However, everyone was surprised because suddenly the clan leader came with dozens of swordsmen, and there was a battle between them. During the process, Yang himself continued to protect Lin and the baby, where he got into a fight with several swordsmen who were of course easily defeated by him. With the chaos getting bigger, Lin then left her baby to Ron, where the colonel tried to capture the baby, so that it could be a guarantee to stay alive, and unfortunately Ron was killed in the process, and Yang chased the colonel. It seems that no matter how many troops the colonel faces, they are no match for Yang. And the astonishing thing is, it turns out that Yang has more speed than a bullet, where he manages to save the baby and injures the colonel. Not wanting to kill the colonel just like that, he also allows Lin to finish him off, where the two of them get into a fight, which of course is won by Lin. After many casualties in the war, it was now time for Yang to come face to face with the clan leader. Taking place in the town square, Yang clashed his skills with his own master, where like his title of the greatest swordsman, he easily defeated his master. Then, feeling that his destiny as an assassin and swordsman could not be abandoned, he left his baby to Lin, as he decided to go wandering, keeping them out of harm's way. In short, after a long time of traveling, he arrived at the Antarctic continent, where he met ice swordsmen who immediately ganged up on him, but Yang casually stood up to them, because after all he was the strongest swordsman of mankind. The end. What do you think of this movie? Please write your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, and support our channel by subscribing, so that we stay motivated to create more interesting content for you to enjoy. And until next time.